Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our ESET Security webinar. My name is Tasha Sultanovic, and I'm with the Ingram Microcloud team. Thank you for joining us, but we'll just give it maybe another 30 seconds to see if anyone else needs to join. I'll be back with you in just a brief moment. Well, I think we can begin. So thanks again. You're here for the ESET Security webinar with myself, Tasha Sultanovic from Ingram Micro, and also joining us from ESET is Matus Cullen and Chester Chu. So let's just get started. For those who aren't aware, ESET is an endpoint security provider across all platforms and mobility, and we're happy to have them join our Ingram Micro Security portfolio. My slides are a little slow, so just give me a moment. Our agenda today will include an ESET overview by Matus Cullen, who's the technical director for ESET, based here in Australia, in Neutral Bay, actually. Then we're going to go through his slides with also some input from Chester Chu, who's our ESET channel sales director, also based here in Sydney, which is great. If you hang around to the end, we also have the opportunity to win a video doorbell, which is pretty cool. So the person who answers the question fastest in the chat box can win that. But before we get started, I just wanted to ask you to participate in a couple of poll questions. So we have 3 poll questions, and these questions can be answered by yourself by just clicking on the yes and no buttons on your screen. First question, have you heard of ESET? This is always a good place to start. Let's see who our audience is here and how many of you are aware of ESET, or is this your first time? So just select yes or no. We'll leave it on for just a few seconds here. Quite excited to have ESET join us. Let's see. So the answer was, Kathy, if you want to put that in the chat box. So 83% of you have heard of ESET, which is fantastic. 17% now. Oh, cool screen. Thanks, Kathy. That's awesome. Next poll question. Are you currently selling any endpoint security solutions at all? So whether that is ESET or it's another flavor of cybersecurity. Just want to see if everyone, I think everyone should be, but let's get an idea here. Yes or no? I like how you spelled no there. That's really cute. And the answer is yes. Okay, so that's interesting that some of you aren't selling security. Well, this is a fantastic opportunity. This is great. So we have one more poll question before we introduce officially our presenter for the day. And that is, what portion of your yearly revenue does cybersecurity represent? So if you are selling cybersecurity, would you say that's greater than 5%, greater than 10%, greater than 20%, greater than 30%? see. So great. So everyone, okay, so everyone is selling a little bit. Okay, awesome. That's about what we expected, which is great. Okay, terrific. So let's just get to our beautiful presenters for today. So these are Team ESET, I'm going to call them. Matus will be doing the presentation in just a moment. And there's the security ring video doorbell that you can win at the end. So stick around and yeah, whoever has the fastest fingers and answers the question correctly can win. So from this point, I will hand over to you, Matus. Please take control of the mouse again. And let's hear a little bit about ESET, where they've come from, who they are, what they do best, and we'll see you again in a minute.
Thank you, Tasha, for a wonderful introduction. Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. My name is Matus Kulan, and I'm the Technical Director at ESET Software Australia. Today's presentation will kick off with a little bit information about ESET as a company. We are currently the largest endpoint security partner in European Union, with an emphasis on the word partner. We don't like to call ourselves a vendor as per se, because we really believe that in terms of offering the best security to our clients and to our resellers, we need to have a working partnership with them. Currently, we have a presence in about almost every single state or country in the world. Majority of those are covered by exclusive distributors, but we also have a number of regional and local offices on all continents. In terms of Australia, we currently have 2 offices here. One is in Sydney, one is in Melbourne. I'll have a nice slide later on which shows the whole map. And the biggest reason for our success, especially in Europe, is the product. We virtually succeeded to be #1 with almost no marketing. It was all because of the quality of the product and the word of mouth. The customers liked it and they recommended it to each other. And over the years, we basically started to dominate the market. We haven't been established that long in Australia. ESET Software Australia has only started business in here in 2014, I believe, and we officially became the only ESET partner on this wonderful continent in early 2015. So we have a very fruitful future ahead of us. We're still a privately owned company. We're actually the largest privately owned endpoint security company in the world right now. And we're completely debt free, and we have our own funding. This is usually very important to larger resellers and enterprise customers. They ask these questions quite often. And in terms of history, we started producing antivirus products 33 years ago, but we were only able to, and this is one of the early photos from that era, we were only able to establish the company as per se in 1992, and this is thanks to the communism in Slovakia. So during communist times, we were not able to have a private company. Everything was owned by state. But once communism fell, we're able to establish ESET Spol SRO. And one other notable achievement is our first participation in the Virus Bulletin 100, and I'll touch upon this later during the independent tests. What privately owned means that what it allows us to do is to be very flexible with our funding, and it basically allows us to increase the investment into research and development and constantly improve our technology. That means that we can focus on improving the security instead of focusing on pleasing the shareholders of the company. And this translates into customer satisfaction. As you can see, almost 90% of enterprise customers are willing to recommend ESET products. And here is the map that I promised earlier. Our headquarters are in Bratislava, Slovakia. That's very near the center of Europe, and we've got a number of offices and research centers around the globe, and a number of regional offices such as Singapore, Buenos Aires, and San Diego, and a number of local offices. In terms of global presence, this number is a little bit interesting. We currently have about 110 million direct customers that purchased licenses to use ESET products. But that's not the only people that we actually protect and our technology protects. Thanks to our partnership with Google, there's about an additional 400 million customers that are protected via using Google Chrome. As some of you may know, ESET became the official protector of Google Chrome 2 years ago. And we had some very good news last year as well, where we became the founding member of Google App Defense Alliance, and that basically added another, I'd say, 2 billion users to our security portfolio. So how that works is every single customer who uses an Android phone or an Android device for that matter, and they have the Play Store installed on the device, we scan and check every single application that gets put onto the Play Store, and we make a recommendation to Google before they do so, basically to make sure that all the apps on Play Store are secure. That was quite a long process to get there, but in the end we achieved it. This is where what we're planning for the future. Currently, our headquarters is in a very generic tall building in Bratislava, and to show our commitment, what we did is we purchased this wonderful piece of land in the city, and we'll be building a new headquarters. And these are some of the pictures that show what it may look like in the future. And secretly, we're all hoping to get the VIP invitation for the ground opening. So that should be finished in about 7 years' time. In terms of market positioning, here are a couple of slides from independent analysts, such as Gartner. In this instance, you can see ESET is currently the only challenger. Here we have the Radicanti market quadrant, ESET being one of the top players. The next is the Forrester Wave. You can see ESET in the top right corner among some of the leaders. And here is probably the least significant one, but the one that we're most happy about. So you probably don't know, but PCMag.com, they don't particularly like ESET products for some reason. Probably we don't spend enough in terms of advertising with them. But what we were really surprised to see is that a majority of their readers choose ESET as their security product. In terms of independent testing, Here we have a couple of snapshots from the recent tests, and the point of these slides is not really to persuade you that ESET is the best antivirus in the world, but more to raise awareness of how this testing works, what is the important thing to look for, and what it doesn't actually tell you in some instances. Here we have the results from Virus Bulletin. Virus Bulletin is probably the oldest, most consistent independent tester currently in the market, and we've joined them in 1997, if I'm not mistaken, and ever since then we've been participating in almost every single test, and we're in the lead by quite a large margin at the moment. This is a snapshot from when we hit the 100 times 100 completed tests, and since then we added probably about 15 to 20 more. Here are some snapshots from AV Comparatives, which is another independent tester. So what you're looking for in an antivirus product is, or endpoint security product is like a three-legged stool. What you need is good performance, low false positives, and a low impact on the system. It's very easy to have 100% detection, but it's not that easy to balance it with a low false positive ratio. We have a couple of customers in the finance and banking sector, and they actually came to us and they switched from a competitor because of the false positive ratio. Every time they got pinged that there was some kind of an infection on their production servers, they had to disconnect them from the network and conduct a complete analysis of what was going on in the system, just to realize that that it was a false alarm. So that's basically part of it. What we have here is a snapshot of the performance test. This is basically your system impact or the footprint on the endpoint. And what we've seen over the last couple of years is that our competitors are starting to catch up to us, and we started questioning how that's possible, and we realized that, I think it's in the next slide, this is the false alarm test, and here we have the network impact test. What we realized was that they're actually starting to decrease the number of features that are sitting on the endpoint. They're decreasing the footprint on the endpoint by moving the functionality, the security functionality, and the security features to the cloud. And you can see it clearly here. This was a test commissioned by ESET, but conducted by AV Comparatives. And even though majority of our competitors, their impact on the system is decreasing, their impact on the actual network is increasing, which you can imagine what kind of problem that would cause in Australia, particularly in some of the areas with poor internet connection, or even in offline sites where you can't actually completely protect endpoints which are not connected to the internet. And here's the similar slide from another point of view, and this is in terms of the database updates. Now for the core technology, or how actually an antivirus product works. A little bit of background at the beginning. Since we started making antivirus products, we've basically been constantly in a disadvantage. If you compare us to the malware authors, that they're, just by the nature of cyber warfare, that they're always in a lead. So what we need to do is we need to plan 2, 3, sometimes even 4 steps ahead. And ever since we released the first product, we've been developing more and more features, more and more security functionality, and incorporating that into our portfolio, and mainly into the core technology. Here at the end, you can see the exploit blocker in 2012. And the one that I would like to point your attention to is the UEFI scanner in 2017. UEFI is slowly replacing, or has already replaced, majority of BIOS systems. UEFI and BIOS are basically a very simple operating system that loads up before your Windows OS, and it has some basic functionality on how to boot up the computer. And once when UEFI was introduced, our researchers they conducted an analysis of UEFI, and then they realized that there are potential exploits in that system. And this was in 2017 when we released our UEFI scanner, and no one had it at that time. And there was no real reason to have it until 3 months later we discovered the first UEFI malware. So this gives you sort of an example of how we operate as a company and what our values are. And since 2017, we've obviously been continuing this research and development. Excuse me. What you're looking for in an antivirus product or in an endpoint security product. There are a couple of things, and currently the market is saturated with a lot of marketing. There are a lot of companies out there that are offering, I would call it a silver bullet solution, but same as with your home security, same as with your car security, for example, what you're looking for is security layers. And those layers, they have different functionality to prevent different vectors of the attack, as we can see on this slide. And the way it works with ESET is we've got 3 main layers: pre-execution, execution, and post-execution. And those 3 they contain a number of sublayers that work together to basically prevent an infection or prevent a cyber attack. So what happens before execution is we scan the UEFI. We've got a network attack protection, which is protecting our customers and clients from network-based attacks. We are looking at the reputation and cache of the files that are coming into the system. Basically, when was the first time that we've seen that file? Has it ever been scanned? How many of them have we seen so far in the wild? And what is the reputation of the file? We also conduct device control. Right now it's predominantly removable media like USB sticks, which you would think is a very basic form of security. Excuse me. But some of you that are familiar with what happened in Ukraine a couple of years ago, there was an institution that I don't want to name here, and it was fairly well secured, and the hackers couldn't figure out a way how to get in until they put malware on USB sticks, scattered those USB sticks around the car park in front of the building before the workers came to work in the morning. The workers found those USB sticks, they brought them inside, they were curious what's on them, they plugged them into the endpoints, into the system, and that's how they got infected. And as a result, a large portion of Ukraine lost power that day. All of our products also conduct in-product sandboxing. Whenever there's a form of a potential threat that we're not sure of, we have the option to run it in an in-product sandbox. So there's no need to send it over the network to some cloud server. We can do it on site, and this is all done automatically. And then basically we're monitoring what that particular file or executable is doing in the sandbox and whether it's safe or not. We also look at DNA detections, and this is your behavioral scan, you may call it. What we do here is we basically look at all the interesting places in the code which combined could have a malicious intention. In the execution layer, we have the exploit blocker, which protects our customers from all the exploits in the commonly used software, such as Microsoft Office or Java. We actually won an award for our exploit blocker, and interestingly enough, there are some products out there that classify themselves as endpoint security, but all they do is protect you against exploits. Basically, one of the layers that we have in our products. So be very careful of those. Then we have the ransomware shield. This has been quite a busy feature within our products lately. The ransomware, we've first seen it in the current form in about 2013, in the year 2013, and since then it's been a constant threat. The nature of ransomware is not that difficult to replicate. What it basically does is it encrypts your files, but there's some very small things that we can pick up from the behavior of the malware that we can classify that we can then classify it as ransomware and subsequently block it and kill the process. On top of that, we have the advanced memory scanner. So you have some malware out there which is basically encloaked, or it's hiding, it's sitting in the memory waiting for its time to decloak and start causing havoc in the system. And this is a security layer that prevents that. We're basically looking at all the processes that are sitting in the memory, and once they decloak, we're able to block them and kill them. On top of that, we've got a script scanner, which basically protects our clients from script-based attacks. These usually come from email. And then the post-execution layer, we have the botnet protection, which works very closely with the network attack protection. And here we're looking for a botnet-like behavior, commonly known as a zombie computer, basically trying to connect to a command and control center, and then conduct something like DDoS attacks, for example. And all of these layers, they're sitting under the roof of Livegrade. Livegrade is our proprietary cloud system, and it has a number of functionalities. It's an intelligent automated classification where basically we're storing all the reputation of all the files that we've seen in the wild. We're only looking at the hashes, not at the files themselves. This helps with the quality and the speed of scanning. We're also doing some DNA analysis of particular malware in the cloud. It works as a sandbox cluster for our specific products like threat ESET Dynamic Threat Defense. It also works as a quick feedback system. What that means is your generic or almost every single endpoint security out there, the way it works is it pings the update servers about 3 to 6, sometimes even 8 times a day. But that means there's always a couple of hours delay between every single update. And what happens if there is a malware outbreak somewhere in Russia, for example, and we want to protect all the computers as soon as possible? Well, this is where Livegrade comes in. We can basically push an update to protect our customers against that particular malware within, on average, 12 minutes after we see the outbreak. So what this diagram shows is you can see the red color is when the outbreak was detected. The light blue color is when we released an update via Livegrade, and the blue color is your regular update system. So this is a very powerful tool against zero-day attacks. Now I'll deviate a little bit from the products and the technical point of our products. There is actually a number of features within our portfolio that makes it easy to sell ESET. It makes it easy to deploy ESET, and it's very easy to use ESET as your endpoint security software. One of those features is the rip and replace function that we have within our management console. And what this allows you to do is remotely uninstall a third-party antivirus software and then push an installation of the ESET software, and all of this will happen from our own console. You don't actually have to do that from a different sort of console, and it happens remotely. There's no need of the IT administrator going around from every single computer and ripping the old non-functioning antivirus just to replace it. Another functionality could be automation. So what we have within our management console is something we call dynamic routes. And what that allows our clients to do is automate their daily tasks. So if there is an IT administrator that logs into the security management console every day and performs a certain task or a certain series of tasks, we can actually automate it and send him the report, for example, that he's downloading to their email address. Another functionality which is most useful with consumer products is our uni-license system. So what it allows our resellers and our clients to do is you're able to purchase a license for example, Windows, but that same license will also activate the macOS product, the corresponding macOS product, or the Linux product for that matter. And not only the corresponding product, but also a lower tier product, as we'll discuss soon. Now, back to the product portfolio. We cover all the major operating system platforms. We've got Windows, we've got macOS, we've got iOS in terms of mobile device management, we've got Android, and also Linux. And the approach to security and the way we've been developing our products is basically in the first quadrant. We've got the prevention. So these are all the solutions that we developed to prevent malware or malicious activity. Then we have a number of solutions for detection. So if there's an infected network already, we can come in with these solutions and and detect that malware. We've got a number of solutions for responding to a threat, and also a number of solutions to predict a threat. And this is how it works in real life. Let me see if I can get a laser pointer. Here in the middle, we've got our endpoints, and they communicate with RMM tools. These are third-party RMM tools, but we have an existing integration with majority of them. They're also being managed from ESET Security Management Center and ESET Enterprise Inspector, which is our EDR solution. And that is feeding all the data into a third-party SIEM solution if that is what the customer requires. On top of that, we have ESET Dynamic Threat Defense, which is our cloud sandboxing system, and that has, for example, the ability to sandbox email communication or email threats that we detect. And all of these basically communicate with our cloud service, and they're getting constant updates from the internet. For our consumer portfolio, what we did is we created a basic product. This is your NOD32 antivirus and the corresponding product for the Mac OS. Then we have we call it the hero product. This is a full-fledged internet security with also a counterpart in the macOS department. And then a product with premium features, which we call Smart Security Premium. On top of that, in the consumer or home department, we're also able to cover mobile devices with mobile security and also parental control. And for customers that wish to purchase a selection of these products, we also have bundles available. And here is the Unilicense system that I spoke to you about. It basically works the same for consumers as well as business. So one license will cover all operating systems. We'll move then to the business offering. So this is our business product range, and it's been set up very similarly to the consumer portfolio. We have the security for mobile devices. We have the basic endpoint antivirus product, and then the fully fledged endpoint security. These cover your basic endpoints, such as computers, laptops. And for server products, we have ESET File Security, which covers your Windows Server, ESET Mail Security for Microsoft Exchange, and the security for Microsoft SharePoint. On top of that, we have a number of solutions for encryption, two-factor authentication, virtualization security, and also data loss prevention. And then all of these solutions connect to your business account. This is basically a portal where you can create an account with ESET and manage your licenses. To manage the endpoints, we have our management console, which we call ESET Security Management Center, and this comes basically free with every single purchase of a business product. To make it even easier for our clients and also for our resellers, we created a bundle which includes your basic endpoint antivirus solution, also the endpoint security solution, and the file security, virtualization security, and mobile security products, which we see that are most commonly used. And this particular bundle will basically, this license will activate all of these products. For the ESET Security Management Center, which is basically the brain of our business product. It's been developed to give you a full control over your ESET security portfolio. It gives you, it provides you with the inventory of the software and also of the hardware in your network that you're currently managing through ESET, but it also has the ability to give you a report of all the rogue devices on your network for the situation where you have BYOD policies in place, for example. For the resellers that require high level of reporting, you will probably be very happy with the way our researchers and developers have designed the reporting functions within the ESMC. For our clients, the interface is friendly and the product is very easy to use. And here is a short or here's a snapshot of how the topology of ESMC works, the ESET Secure Management Console. What we have here, which is highlighted, is all the different bits of the ESMC server. We have the SQL database, which comes within the bundle for ESMC. We have the agent, the server itself, the console, and the web console basically allows you to connect to the ESMC using any sort of device with an internet browser. Then we have an endpoint with a rogue detector sensor installed on it. This is the particular feature or the aspect of the architecture that gives you the list of rogue devices on your network. And then every single endpoint on the network contains the ESET management agent and the product itself. These two, they used to be the same piece of software in the past, but there was a very compelling argument for basically separating them. So the agent is basically your network communication agent. It communicates with the server. It contains all the policies, all the tasks, and applies them onto the product. And what this allows you to do is you can install the agent even on an endpoint which is running a third-party antivirus software, and there will basically not be colliding with each other. As you probably already know, if you put two antivirus softwares on one machine, worst case scenario, you'll get a blue screen. Best case scenario, the machine will run really slow, because they're both trying to protect the system files, and they see the other antivirus system as some sort of malware that is trying to do the same thing. But by deploying the agent first and running the rip and replace task from the management server, you can get rid of the embedded third-party software, and then you can remotely install the ESET product. And here is a screenshot of what the Security Management Center looks like. We have the dashboard here as the first tab, and this gives you a nice brief overview of what your network looks like and if there are any potential security risks. And then just by a couple of clicks, you can see what the risks are. If it's a computer that is not updating by not being connected to the network, or if there was a threat detected, and then from that point you can address those issues. We're also able to give you the list of your computers and devices, and also you can drill down to see what particular software is installed on those devices. And this list is actually synchronizable with your existing Active Directory. Then we have a your threats tab, where you can see what is happening within the network in terms of malware or cyber threats. We have a reporting functionality. We can push all sorts of different tasks, like a full custom scan with cleaning, different types of policies. This depends on the end user or on the customer themselves. We've got some policies that typically educational institutions are interested in, and then some policies for our MSP partners. And then we'll conclude with a list of users. You can also synchronize these with your existing Active Directory. We've got notifications which we can push to a particular email address as well, and then a basic status overview, which we predominantly use for support purposes. And that is it for my part of the presentation. I will now hand over to Chester to discuss the promotion that we have for Ingram resellers.
Yeah, good morning, everyone, and thank you, Matush, for wonderful training presentations on the ESET technologies and the products we currently offering in the market. I think for us to do these trainings, for you to understand how our technology works and how you can actually offer to your customers in more details, and instead of just offering your customers antivirus. The more you know about our technologies, the better for you to explain to your customers. So my role actually is to assist partners in the sales process, enablement, and if you have any opportunity, and I can actually help you. Together we go to the market and win some opportunity. I also look after Ingram, the process and all that. If you got any questions, you can come to me. For us today, to help you to kickstart on and to sell in ESET products, and we actually have some exclusive offerings, and you purchase through Ingram, and to actually help you to kickstart easy to sell to your customers. And at this moment, we offered our ESET Internet Security, which nominated and recommended by Choice and in 2019 and 2020, which is the top selling products in the market. So when you buy two Internet Security, just pay for a price of one. And also we're offering 30% discount RP for end user who want to migrate to ESET and switch to ESET because of our technologies, and to able to protect them a better protection for their endpoints and their IT environment. So if you have any questions, at the end you have my contacts. You can reach out to me or Ingram and sales or PM that will able to assist you. That's my part. So I'll pass it on to back to Ingram and Tasha, and thank you for everyone.
Awesome. Thank you, Matus. Thank you, Chester. As you can see, the ESET portfolio is quite in depth, but we will encourage you to speak to Chester and to our team here to learn more about it. It's easy. But before we get to some Q&A and to the prize, I just wanted to educate everyone about our Cloud Edge program. This program is designed to take resellers through a journey of education and sales enablement to help you expand your services portfolio while earning rewards. You can even make money just by joining the program. The Cloud Edge microsite is where resellers like yourself can learn and earn as they complete questions and watch videos on all the participating vendors, of which ESET is one. So we have a list of, at the moment, 7 vendors here, and you can see that there is rewards that you can start to accumulate while you do training, and also by claiming sales. And that's kind of interesting too. So first 2 sales you make of any of these vendors, you earn money, and that money can go into a Visa card and also into a credit that you can spend on the cloud marketplace. The goal here is to help the resellers sell more, but to learn more so that you can cross-sell across multiple different products. So of course, we're going to encourage all of the people on the call to join this. There's a link on the next page that I'll share with you. Because first cab off the rank, do the short video, answer the questions, earn some rewards, and then just start to accumulate across the other solutions. Do you have a backup solution, for instance? Do you have a remote access solution, etc.? With the goal ultimately to win a trip to Miami next year, if we're allowed to go to Miami next year. Let's just say we can. So here's the URL. The microsite is amazing. It's really well made. It's super simple to use. Each vendor has their own tab. Go through the training and make some money. And it's great not only for people who are maybe a little bit aware of these products already, but if you have new starters in your organization that you need to train up, fantastic, absolutely fantastic. Can't speak highly enough about it, actually. So we will send out this slide deck. So it'll have the link to the Cloud Edge microsite. It has Chester's email address. He's a wonderful resource for Ingram and for our resellers. And here we have our Ingram resources aligned to security and to our huge supporters of the ESET portfolio. So please don't hesitate to contact these guys. Now, here it is. Quick fingers, please, in the chat box. First to answer this question correctly wins the doorbell. How long has ESET been in the antivirus market? Now, in the chat box, this is not a poll question. 13 years, 23 years, 33 years, or 7 years? So we'll give you a few minutes because we're going to go with some Q&A right now, and then we'll come back to this with hopefully one of you being super speedy. Now, I'm just going to have a quick look if there's any questions in the chat. Here we go. Is it multi-tenant? I don't know who's better to answer that. If you want to answer that, Matrush or Chester, whoever
Yes,
answers first.
the management console supports multi-tenancy. So basically, if you're an MSP reseller or an MSP partner, you can have all your clients or customers connecting to one management console, and then if you wish to give some of them access, perhaps they have an on-site IT manager, you can control that access so they're only able to see their own site, and they don't see anyone else.
And that console, you have access to that no matter which business product you buy. Is that correct, Matus?
Yes. It comes free with every single purchase of a business product. That is the on-premise management console, and we also have a cloud console available, or we will have it available later this year.
Brilliant. And Matus, you have trial SKUs also available via your website. Is that correct?
Yes. You can. There's a couple of options. You can download the trial from the official website, or you can request a trial through your ESET business account. So for customers that already have an account, or you can go set it up yourself, and there's a simple way of getting a trial through there.
Oh, terrific. I have another question here, and Chester, this might be directed at you. Who are some of your larger customers, and why have I not heard of ESET before? It's kind of a two-parter.
Yep. All right. Then thank Tasha. So and if you look at the ESET, and if you look at the poll, 83% people heard about ESET, which is fantastic. So we have some of the largest customers in the world, and also in local Australia. Some of them we have non-disclosures. That's why we can't advertise on it. Like in the beginning of the slides training, Matush mentions that then Google Chrome, and we partner with Google Chrome and also the Google Play Store. Google is one of our biggest customers as well. And in terms of that, if you, I'm sure everyone are on social media these days, like Spotify, then Facebook, Twitter, Spotify. And even though the very famous electric cars and Teslas are one of our biggest customers in the world, right? So, and in Australia locally, if you look at we have Booking.com and some of the University of Canberra's and Dyson's, and those are customers in Australia. We work on,
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, and
That's awesome.
that's something. So, and also I would like to mention also we have a great team in Australia which can support all these customers. We have a local support based in Neutral Bay, and we have a numbers of all our technicals are local based and to support our partners in Australia.
And Chester, I have another one here. What are the most common verticals that you're seeing that your resellers are selling into? Do you have like a top 3 or 4?
On top verticals, actually, if you look at what we don't have a specific verticals, but we have a lot of council and government agency, and one of the cybersecurity top government agency in Australia, and the head office in US. I can't disclose the name. They are using thousands of licenses with us. We also coming up in huge demand in the virtual office, rental offices, business, commercial. They're offering our protections to all their tenants who actually rent their offices.
Yeah, cool. I also discovered this week that my accountant uses ESET because I just saw an order come through for my accountant. So
yeah,
that was kind of funny. Yeah, cool. And we have any others?
And I saw one question coming from Raymond Penn as well. And do we offer NFR for reseller? Yes, we
Yep,
do
there's a
offer
question.
NFR. We do offer NFR for resellers. Or you need to just reach out to Ingram or to me directly, and we can organize some NFR for you.
Yeah, and that begs the question too. Margin. What's the margin expectation that resellers can expect for the ESET product range?
Yes, and this is a very fantastic question. So, ESET always like to work with partners. We talk about all its profit and margins, and we sell to our customers, especially during this pandemic period. A lot of people will be struggling getting hardware coming into Australia, and I can see people are making less margin than before. So ESET actually offer 20% margins and to resellers who sell to end customers. So,
and that's across the product range.
yes, that is.
Yeah, it's
that
not
will
just
be the
consumer,
cross.
it's not just high end. It's the entire product range, which I think we always forget to mention that.
Yeah.
Not only does a product need to be great, but when you can make money on it as well, it's
Yes.
kind of
So it's not only one of margins, because every year when your customers they never go anywhere because of our technologies and all that. Every year you constantly look at, if you forecast every year, you guarantee that you have this kind of margins and revenues coming in every year.
Yep, recurring revenue, absolutely. Yes. I think that is all of our questions, and we've hit 12 o'clock on the dot, so that's fantastic. I really appreciate both of you joining us and explaining in depth what ESET is, and how it is actually quite, it's a complicated product because it does so much, but it's not difficult to sell, and that's what I hope that you have learned today, and that you can reach out to Chester or anyone in our team at your leisure. A follow-up email will be sent out in the next couple of days that has all the links to the Cloud Edge, to the email addresses for all of us as contacts, a recording, and we'll probably include some demo videos and stuff too.
Yes,
But
and
yeah,
Tasha, one last
yeah.
thing before you go. I think we
Oh, the
do
total
we
prize.
have a winner? Do we have a winner?
Thank you. You're a great assistant, Chester.
Yeah.
Okay, I think the first person to answer correctly, the answer was 33 years, by the way. And Tara, am I correct? I don't want to get this wrong. So Tara, do you want to tell me who the first person to answer 33 years was?
Okay, so we have the first person that put through 33 years. Looks like it was Peter.
Yeah, get that message. Awesome. Now we have Peter's email information, everything already, because we're tracking all of you, of course, not in a creepy way. But we'll get on to ESET, who will be sending that out to you. We'll get your details and everything. So cool, yeah, 33 years. And that's just testament to the fact that not only did ESET discover the first virus in the wild, so to speak, but yeah, they've been at this a while. They know what they're doing. So congratulations, and thank you everyone for joining us.
I think there's one more questions from.
Oh, yep.
Okay, does ESET sell directly to end user?
Good question.
Okay, that's a very good question. So we have a website, and has any other vendor does as well. So we do sell to end user, but when you log into your customers, we will support you, and we are not competing with our partners to sell to your customers. We do have a deal registrations process, and if the customers, let me put it in this way, if the customer will purchase directly from our website and they want to purchase through you, or you just need to send us an email, we're able to assist you to transfer license across to you, and you take over the customer. So
you avoid channel conflict, and margin
yes,
then isn't a problem as long as the reseller is calling it out to you, and that, yeah, that's
yes,
terrific. Yeah, I mean, I know that in this day and age, there are a lot of what most vendors do have the function to go to their own web store to buy something, but often it is more expensive anyway.
Yeah. We always
so
a channel support company and to support our resellers to grow the business together.
Channel comes first. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, and the quantity of licenses that you're able to purchase through our e-store is actually limited. So larger quantities have to go through channel.
Yeah, good point. Okay, good one, Matus. Yeah. Yeah, awesome. Okay, Raymond, do you have any other questions?
Or any, you can always email me, and we will answer all your questions if you have any questions moving forward.
Perfect. And thank you, Peter, for winning, for being nimble on the keyboard.
Congratulations, awesome. Peter. Thank you. Thank you for everyone.
Cool. Thank you, guys. Have a wonderful day. Bye for now.
Thank you.